You've seen it a million times. Your dog suddenly transforms into a furry tornado, ricocheting off the couch, spinning in circles, and basically acting like they've just chugged a triple espresso. Zoomies? Adorable? Absolutely. Random? Not even close. Because here's the shocking truth. Your dog's zoomies aren't just a weird quirk, they're a mirror. A chaotic, slobbery reflection of you. Yeah, you heard that right. That unhinged after-dinner sprint around the yard. That's not just your dog burning energy, it's a full-blown personality test, and buddy, you're failing. So buckle up, because we're about to decode what your dog's zoomies really say about your life, your secrets, and why you definitely need to chill. Let's be real. Dogs are basically four-legged mood rings. One minute they're snoring on the couch like a tiny, furry old man, and the next, they're doing parkour off the walls like they've been possessed by the spirit of a caffeinated squirrel. But here's the thing. Zoomies aren't just about your dog. Nope. They're a weirdly accurate snapshot of your energy, your habits, and let's be honest, your questionable life choices. Think about it. When was the last time you saw your dog lose its mind at 11 p.m. for no reason? Exactly. That's your chaotic energy rubbing off on them. Dogs don't do anything without a reason. Sure, it might seem like they've just remembered they left the oven on in a past life, but there's always a method to the madness. Zoomies usually happen when they're overwhelmed. Too much energy, too much excitement, or way too much of your weird vibes. And guess what? The way your dog handles their zoomies, whether they're graceful like a gazelle or a total wrecking ball, says a lot about how you handle stress. Spoiler, if your dog is crashing into furniture, you might want to check your own life for metaphorical faceplants. Ever notice how some dogs have scheduled zoomies, like clockwork, right after dinner or the second you take off their leash? That's not random. It's a direct response to your routine. Dogs thrive on predictability, so if their zoomies have a routine, congrats. You're probably a type A control freak who color codes their socks. But if your dog's zoomies are as unpredictable as your ex's text messages, yeah, that tracks. Your life is chaos, and your dog is just along for the ride. And let's talk about the style of zoomies. Some dogs go full NASCAR, laps around the house at breakneck speed. Others prefer the spin in circles until I fall over technique. Sound familiar? That's because it's your coping mechanism, just furrier. If your dog is a speed demon, you're probably the kind of person who works well under pressure. Read thrives in last-minute panic. If they're more of a clumsy spinner, you're the fake it till you make it type. And honestly, same. So before you laugh at your dog's spastic outbursts, take a long, hard look in the mirror. Those zoomies, they're not just a dog thing. They're a you thing. And if you're brave enough, we're about to dive deep into what your dog's manic episodes reveal about the mess that is your life. Ready? Good. Let's get uncomfortably honest. Okay, let's cut to the chase. Your dog's zoomies aren't just hilarious. They're a cry for help. Your help. Because while you're busy filming their chaos for TikTok, your dog is basically screaming, "Hey, idiot, your life is a mess, and now so am I." Think about it. When was the last time your dog had zoomies after a perfectly calm, structured day? Never. That's because zoomies are the canine equivalent of stress eating a whole pizza at 2 a.m. Pure, unfiltered emotional overflow. And guess where they're getting that energy from? Ding, ding, ding. Let's break it down. Say your dog goes nuts every time you come home from work. Adorable, right? Wrong. That's not just excitement. It's pent-up energy from hours of your absence, which, by the way, they spent staring at the door like a furry, heartbroken sentry. Dogs are creatures of habit, and when your routine is all over the place, theirs follow suit. So if your dog's zoomies are more unpredictable than your Wi-Fi connection, it's time to admit you're the common denominator here. And here's the kicker. Zoomies aren't just about physical energy, they're about emotional energy too. Ever noticed your dog loses it when you're stressed? That's not a coincidence. Dogs are emotional sponges. If you're radiating anxiety like a malfunctioning microwave, don't be surprised when your dog starts bouncing off the walls like they've been mainlining espresso. They're not trying to mock your mental state. They're just really bad at hiding it. But wait, it gets worse. The way your dog zooms tells you exactly what kind of hot mess you are. If they're sprinting in straight lines, you're probably the bottle it up till I explode type. If they're spinning in circles, congrats. You're the human equivalent of a browser with 100 tabs open. And if they're crashing into things, well, let's just say you might want to start adulting before your dog starts charging you for therapy. So here's the problem. You've been treating Zoomies like a cute quirk when they're actually a wake-up call. Your dog isn't just burning energy, they're mirroring your chaos. And until you address the real issue, hi, it's you, those Zoomies aren't going anywhere. So, ready to face the music, or are we just going to keep pretending this is totally normal? All right, let's get scientific for a hot second. But don't worry, we'll keep it fun. Zoomies, officially known as frenetic random activity periods, FRAPs because scientists love a good acronym, are your dog's way of releasing built-up stress or excitement. But here's where it gets personal. What triggers those FRAPs in your dog? Because it's never just the dog, nope, it's you, your energy, your habits. That 3 p.m. coffee you definitely don't regret that has your dog doing backflips by dinner. Dogs don't exist in a vacuum. They're basically furry little mirrors with paws, reflecting back everything you're putting out into the universe, whether you realize it or not. Take the after-walk Zoomies, for example. You just spent 20 minutes letting your dog sniff every leaf, hydrant, and vaguely interesting patch of dirt, so why are they suddenly sprinting around like they've been possessed? Simple. You rushed them. Yeah, I said it. That, okay, we gotta go energy. They felt it. Dogs process walks like we process therapy. It's their time to decompress, and if you cut it short because you're mentally already back home scrolling through your phone, they're gonna need to burn off that unfinished business. So next, time your dog goes full Usain Bolt post-walk, ask yourself, was I really present, or was I just a glorified leash holder? Then there's the late-night Zoomies. You're curled up on the couch, finally relaxing after a long day, when suddenly, bam, your dog is ricocheting off the walls like a ping-pong ball. What gives? Well, when's the last time you actually relaxed? Like, truly relaxed? Dogs pick up on tension like it's their job. Because, let's be real, it kind of is. If you've been grinding through the day with your shoulders up by your ears, your dog's 9 p.m. freakout isn't random. It's them saying, hey, you've been wound up all day, and now it's my turn to lose it. Thanks, buddy. And let's not forget the social Zoomies. You have people over, and suddenly your dog is doing laps around the living room like they're auditioning for the next Fast and Furious movie. Cute? Sure, but also a little telling. Dogs feed off social energy, and if your guests are the type who bring big energy, read loud, chaotic, or the kind of people who don't sit down, your dog is just matching the vibe. Ever notice how some dogs lose it when the room gets tense? Same deal. They're not causing the chaos, they're responding to it. So, if your dog turns into a tornado at parties, maybe ask yourself, are my friends the problem? Here's the bottom line. Every Zoomie has a root cause, and 90% of the time, it leads back to you. Your dog isn't just a goofball. They're a highly sensitive, four-legged emotional barometer. And the sooner you start seeing their outbursts as feedback, the sooner you can both chill the heck out. So, what's it gonna be? More denial? Or are you ready to admit your dog's antics are basically a TED Talk on your life choices? Here's the brutal truth you've been avoiding. Your dog's Zoomies aren't just quirky behavior. They're an intervention. That's right. While you've been laughing and filming, your dog has been trying to stage a one canine wellness. Check on your chaotic existence. Think about the last epic Zoomie session. What were you doing right before it? Frantically searching for your keys? Stress-eating cookies over a work deadline? Binging Netflix until 2 a.m. like a rebel without a cause? Your dog didn't just get the Zoomies, they absorbed your energy and hit critical mass. This isn't coincidence, it's cause and effect. With fur and slobber, let's get uncomfortably specific. Say your dog loses their mind every time you're about to leave the house. You chalk it up to excitement, but dig deeper. Are you radiating that pre-departure stress, rushing, muttering, forgetting things? Dogs read our emotional fine print better than we do. Their Zoomies in these moments aren't just, yay, adventure, and they're, oh god, humans in. Crisis mode again must release the pressure. And whose pressure is it really? Yours. That frantic energy doesn't disappear when you walk out the door. It stays with them, simmering, until it explodes in a whirlwind of pause and poor life choices. Now consider the opposite scenario. The post-work Zoomies. You walk in exhausted, and your dog celebrates by turning into a furry pinball. Seems sweet, right? Wrong again. This is your dog screaming, thank God you're home. Now deal with this energy I've been storing all day. Dogs left alone often hold it together amazingly well until you return. Then, boom, all that bottled up stress, theirs and yours, absorbed from your chaotic morning, comes roaring out. If your dog's welcome routine looks more like an exorcism than a greeting, it's time to admit your work-life balance is a myth and your dog is the collateral damage. Here's the pivotal realization. Zoomies peak when we're most checked out. That 11 p.m. couch potato moment when you're mentally drained but physically wired, that's prime Zoomie time because your dog is literally manifesting the energy you're ignoring. They're the living embodiment of that second wind you pretend you don't have, the one that keeps you scrolling mindlessly instead of sleeping. Your dog didn't choose the Zoom life. The Zoom life chose them through you. This is your wake-up call. The next time your dog goes full tornado, don't just laugh. Listen. That's not random chaos. It's a feedback loop you created. The question is, are you brave enough to change the energy you're feeding them? Or will you both keep spinning in circles forever? The ball's in your court, but let's be real. Your dog already dropped it. Twice. So let's wrap this up with the cold, hard facts. Your dog's Zoomies are basically a furry, four-legged TED Talk about your life. Every manic sprint around the coffee table, every chaotic spin before face planting into the couch, it's not just random dog behavior, it's a direct response to your energy, your routines, and let's be honest, your questionable coping mechanisms. You are the puppet master of this circus, whether you meant to be or not. We've established that Zoomies happen for a reason: pent-up energy, stress, overstimulation. But here's the kicker. Your dog isn't generating all that. Chaos in a vacuum. They're feeding off you, the way you rush through your morning, the way you bottle up stress during the day, the way you collapse in a heap of exhaustion at night. It all trickles down to your dog in the form of those hilarious, but telling, outbursts. They're not just burning off their own energy, they're burning off yours. Think about the patterns we've uncovered. The post-walk Zoomies, because you rushed them. The late-night Zoomies, because you're wired but won't admit it. The guest-induced Zoomies, because your friends bring chaos energy. None of this is accidental. Your dog is a living, breathing barometer for the energy in your home. And right now, the forecast calls for emotional turbulence with a chance of couch collisions. But here's the good news. Awareness is the first step to change. Now that you know your dog's Zoomies are more than just a cute quirk, you can start to address the root cause. You. Maybe it's slowing down on walks, creating a calmer evening, routine, or finally admitting that your high-energy lifestyle is actually just stress in a cute outfit. Your dog will thank you with fewer faceplants into the furniture. At the end of the day, your dog's Zoomies are a gift, a slobbery, chaotic mirror held up to your life. The question is, will you keep laughing and filming, or will you take the hint and make some changes? One thing's for sure, your dog isn't going to stop zooming until you start reflecting. So what's it gonna be? Keep treating your dog's Zoomies like comic relief, or finally accept they're your personal wake-up call with paws. Start small. Take deeper breaths during walks. Unclench your jaw before bed, and for the love of all things holy, stop pretending you're fine when your dog is literally spinning in circles to cope. The next time those Zoomies hit, don't just film them. Ask yourself what you need to release too. Spoiler, it's probably not another iced coffee. Now go hug your dog. They've been trying to tell you something this whole time.